The animals were burrowing into the banks. They were also burrowing up under the roadways. Will there be a collapse of the streets and somebody gets killed?
Nutria. These oversized South American rodents are wreaking havoc on farmlands. They're munching through crops, damaging vital structures, and might even be spreading diseases. But don't worry, in this video, we'll dive into the clever ways Europeans are fighting back against these millions of furry invaders. From high-tech fences to sneaky traps, we'll explore the different tactics keeping Nutria at bay and protecting farmers' precious farmland. History of invasive nutria. The nutria, a large South American rodent also known as the Coypu, has become a major ecological headache for Europe. Thinking that there might be some economic gain, nutria were brought over into Europe, but the situation turned out to be the opposite. They became destructive invaders rather than economic boosters. Let's explore the history of nutria in Europe, tracing their journey from fur farms to established invasive populations, with a particular focus on the different pathways that led to their introduction. The 19th century witnessed the rise of nutria in Europe, not in the wild, but within the confines of fur farms. Their thick, dense fur, considered highly desirable at the time, fueled their introduction from their native South America. Several European countries, most notably France, Germany, and the Czech Republic, emerged as centers for nutria fur production. These fur farms operated under the assumption that nutria breeding would be a lucrative venture. The initial optimism surrounding nutria fur farming proved to be short-lived. Fluctuations in fashion trends played a significant role. The luxurious fur coats that were once all the rage fell out of favor as public tastes shifted. There was also the trend shift by customers, where they focused on finding more ethically sourced and affordable options. The development of synthetic fur alternatives provided this more affordable and ethical option for consumers, further dampening the demand for nutria fur. This decline in the fur trade had a profound impact on the captive nutria populations. Many fur farms struggled to stay afloat financially, leading to their abandonment. With enclosures left unattended and breeding stock no longer a source of income, large numbers of nutria escaped into the surrounding environment. These escapees formed the initial core of the wild nutria populations that now plague Europe. While escapes from failing fur farms were a significant contributor to the spread of nutria, they weren't the only factor. Some fur farmers, desperate to recoup their losses, deliberately released their stock into the wild, hoping they would establish themselves as viable fur-producing populations in the natural world. This gamble backfired spectacularly, as the released nutria readily adapted to their new environment and began breeding rapidly. The decline of the fur trade also led some to explore alternative uses for nutria. The possibility of using their meat for human consumption was briefly considered, but this practice never gained widespread acceptance, due to concerns about the taste materialize, but also fair and potential health risks associated with consuming wild nutria. Other proposals, such as using nutria pelts for non-fashion applications like upholstery, also failed to materialize. Whether escape, deliberate release, or a combination of both, nutria found themselves in a surprisingly suitable environment: Europe's vast network of wetlands. Coastal marshes, swamps, and riverbanks became havens for these resourceful rodents. Their prolific breeding habits and lack of natural predators in Europe allowed them to establish themselves in various countries, including Austria, France, and Germany. Understanding nutria. But to understand just how much of a disaster these giant rodents are, we should first explain to you just what is nutria. The nutria, also known as the Coypu, is a large herbivorous rodent native to South America. One of the most distinctive physical features of nutria is their bright orange incisors. The orange color is due to a pigment containing iron, which helps maintain the tooth's hardness. These constantly growing teeth are essential for gnawing on tough vegetation and burrowing. The nutria boasts a thick, reddish-brown coat and a body resembling a cross between a beaver and a muskrat. These rodents are well adapted to life in freshwater habitats, spending their days foraging for plants and roots along riverbanks, canals, and lakes. Like us, nutria are also social creatures. They live in family groups consisting of related females, their offspring, and a single dominant male. Their burrows, connected by intricate tunnels, often line the edges of their wetland homes. As we mentioned before, nutria were brought to Europe to be raised for their fur, however they escaped or were purposely let go. These escapes and releases led to wild nutria populations taking root in many areas. While this might seem like a minor issue, it's actually caused a big mess for Europe's natural habitats. Nutria reach sexual maturity at a relatively young age, typically around 5 to 8 months old. Female nutrias are highly prolific breeders, with a gestation period of around 130 days. They can produce up to 2 litters per year, with an average litter size of 4 to 6 kits. These kits are precocial, which means they are well developed at birth and can leave the burrow within a few weeks to follow their mothers as they forage. This rapid reproductive rate, combined with short maturation times, allows nutria populations to grow quickly in favorable environments. Nutria are also renowned for their insatiable appetite. These herbivores can consume a staggering 25% of their body weight daily. Their diet primarily consists of aquatic plants and roots. While this may seem harmless, nutria's voracious feeding disrupts the delicate balance of wetland ecosystems in Europe. Their constant grazing can decimate native plant communities, leading to a reduction in plant diversity. This loss of plant life has a cascading effect on the entire food chain, impacting populations of insects, fish, and other animals that rely on these plants for food and shelter. Their communication method isn't all that different from other animals. Nutria utilize a variety of vocalizations to communicate with each other. These include hisses, whistles, and clicks, used to express dominance, warn of danger, or maintain social cohesion within the group. Nutria's designation as an invasive species stems from their ability to thrive and rapidly reproduce in non-native habitats. Their adaptable nature allows them to exploit readily available food sources and suitable burrowing areas in European wetlands. This rapid population growth, coupled with their destructive feeding habits, disrupts the natural balance of these ecosystems and affects our very own farms as well. The burrowing activities of nutria further exacerbate the problem. Their extensive network of tunnels weakens the integrity of levees and banks, which increases the risk of flooding and infrastructure damage. Their constant digging disrupts the soil structure and contributes to erosion. These combined effects can significantly alter the landscape and habitat functionality of European wetlands. Impact on European farmlands.
It's an emergency response. It's the same. It's very similar to what we do in a wildfire or an earthquake or a flood. That just gives you a sense of the severity to which we believe this is a threat to California.
While nutria are sometimes mistakenly considered mere agricultural pests due to their occasional forays into crops bordering wetlands, the true threat lies in their impact on the overall health of European ecosystems. The disappearance of native plants, the disruption of the food chain, and the destabilization of soil structures through burrowing all contribute to a decline in biodiversity and ecosystem stability. Let's start with understanding the ecological role of nutria in their native South American environments, and the destructive impact of their introduction in Europe, highlighting the importance of controlling their populations. Efforts are underway to manage nutria populations through trapping, hunting, and habitat modification, with the goal of mitigating their impact and restoring balance to European wetlands. More on that later, so stay tuned and watch the video till the end. One of the most concerning aspects of nutria activity is their burrowing behavior. Nutria are adept at digging extensive burrow networks in levees, dams, road embankments, and bridge supports. These burrows weaken the structural integrity of these critical pieces of infrastructure, increasing the risk of collapse and flooding, especially in low-lying areas. Nutria burrows can divert water flow from agricultural fields, disrupting irrigation systems and affecting crop yields. The threat posed by nutria burrowing is particularly concerning for flood control measures. Levees are essential for protecting agricultural land and communities from rising floodwaters. Nutria burrows can compromise these levees, creating weak points that are susceptible to breaches during floods. And like a domino effect, the resulting flooding can devastate crops, livestock, and property, causing significant economic and social disruption. And as we said before, these little pests love to eat. They are always on the look to fill their bellies till they're bursting. Their diet consists of a wide variety of wetland plants, including reeds, grasses, and bulrushes. However, they are not limited to wetland vegetation and readily venture into agricultural fields, where they feast on a variety of crops. Corn, sugarcane, rice, wheat, barley, and various vegetables are all vulnerable to nutria grazing. Their heavy consumption can lead to substantial declines in crop yields, impacting the livelihoods of farmers and contributing to food insecurity. The impact of nutria extends beyond agricultural crops. In Louisiana, for example, nutria have been documented feeding on bald cypress seedlings, the state tree. This poses a threat to the regeneration of these important wetland trees, potentially altering the ecology of these ecosystems. Nutria are not only destructive to infrastructure and crops, they can also pose health risks to humans, pets, and livestock. These rodents can carry a variety of pathogens, including bacteria responsible for diseases like tuberculosis and septicemia. While the risk of direct transmission to humans is considered low, it is still a concern, particularly for those who come into close contact with nutria or their contaminated habitats. Another potential health threat arises from the parasites that nutria can carry. These parasites can contaminate water sources, including those used for drinking water and recreation. This contamination can lead to a variety of health problems, depending on the specific parasite involved. The economic impact of nutria in Europe is a significant concern, costing millions of dollars annually. They have been linked to damages ranging from a few thousand to a staggering $6 million per year. The destruction they cause extends across various resources, impacting everything from wetlands and agricultural crops to infrastructure like dykes and roads. Nutria's insatiable appetite wreaks havoc on wetland ecosystems, leading to costly restoration efforts. And farmers suffer financial losses as nutria raid crops like sugarcane, impacting their livelihoods. Their burrowing behavior weakens dams, levees, and even roads, requiring expensive repairs. Farmers face reduced yields and increased costs associated with protecting their crops from nutria damage. Also, the cost of controlling nutria populations adds another layer of financial burden. The substantial economic burden caused by nutria infestations highlights the urgent need for effective control strategies to mitigate their impact on Europe's environment, agriculture, and infrastructure. The social impact of nutria is also significant. Flooding caused by compromised levees can displace communities and disrupt livelihoods. The presence of nutria can also discourage recreational activities in areas where they are abundant, impacting tourism and leisure industries. While their overall impact is negative, nutria does play a minor role in wetland health by consuming some aquatic plants that can crowd out native species. However, this ecosystem service is vastly outweighed by the damage they cause through overgrazing and habitat disruption. Strategies for managing nutria. Fortunately, European nations are not without options. A multi-level approach is crucial to effectively manage nutria populations and minimize their impact. Let's dive into a range of strategies, from traditional methods to cutting-edge technologies. Trapping and hunting are the traditional methods used in the fight against nutria, but advancements can improve their effectiveness. Live traps and cage traps baited with preferred foods like carrots, tubers, or leafy greens can be strategically placed near burrows or along established travel routes. However, relying solely on traps can be labor-intensive, especially in large areas. Utilizing trap timers can automate the process and free trappers to focus on other control efforts. Hunting can also be a viable option, but public perception needs to be addressed. Educational campaigns can highlight the ecological benefits of nutria control and promote responsible hunting practices. Other equipment like night vision scopes and thermal imaging cameras can increase hunting success, particularly in low-light conditions. To control the nutria population there, another method is used called habitat modification. Several non-lethal control methods are used to modify the nutria's habitat to make it a less desirable area to stay in, like most of your local Airbnbs. One such method is water level manipulation. By raising and lowering water levels in wetlands, they mess up nutria's burrowing plans. Existing burrows might even get flooded or exposed, making them unappealing homes. But this needs to be done carefully to avoid hurting other wetland creatures that need specific water levels. Vegetation management offers another approach. Nutria love hiding in thick plants. Wildlife experts clear out these bushy areas, especially near water, leaving nutria exposed to hungry predators. They also encourage plants that nutria don't like to grow instead, making the whole place less inviting. Another non-lethal method is den blocking. Sometimes wildlife experts block existing nutria burrows with wire mesh or logs. This discourages them from using those specific holes. But nutria are good diggers, so this trick usually needs to be combined with other methods to be truly effective. Physical barriers can also be effective in excluding nutria from sensitive areas, particularly agricultural fields. Strong wire mesh fencing at least 1.5 meters tall with a buried bottom section effectively deters nutria from reaching valuable areas like farms. Reinforcing floodgates and levees with stronger materials and planting, stabilizing vegetation along them, adds another layer of defense. And reinforcing floodgates and levees with stronger materials and repairing existing damage can help prevent burrowing and subsequent breaches. And planting stabilizing vegetation along levees can further reduce burrowing activity. All these methods have been adopted over a long period of trial and error. Keeping them and the needs of the hour in mind, scientists have made technological advancements to help rid us of these invasive rodents. These new technologies are offering exciting tools for monitoring and managing these invasive rodents. Imagine setting up hidden cameras that not only capture nutria on film, but use smart software to identify and count them automatically. This camera trap with image recognition provides invaluable data on population size and distribution, allowing wildlife managers to target control efforts more effectively. Another innovative technique is eDNA analysis. Scientists collect water samples and analyze them for the presence of environmental DNA, or eDNA, shed by nutria. This genetic fingerprint allows the detection of nutria presence even in areas where traditional trapping might be ineffective. This non-invasive approach is particularly useful for monitoring low-density populations or those residing in dense vegetation. Drone technology is another way to keep track of these pests. Drones equipped with thermal imaging cameras can locate nutria at night or in areas with thick vegetation, where they might otherwise remain hidden. The data collected from drone surveys can then be used to guide trapping or hunting efforts with greater precision. The concept of introducing natural predators to control nutria populations is also being explored, but with extreme caution. Introducing non-native predators can have unintended consequences. disrupting existing ecosystems and potentially creating new problems. Research in Europe is investigating the potential role of native predators like otters and certain raptor species in managing nutria populations. However, a thorough understanding of the ecological impact of such introductions is crucial before implementing this approach. Chemical control methods, such as rodenticides, are generally a last resort due to several significant concerns. These poisons can pose risks to non-target species, including native wildlife and even pets. Nutria can develop resistance to rodenticides over time, rendering them ineffective. For these reasons, chemical control should only be considered under strict regulations and as a last resort after exploring all other options. Nutria cuisine. Another option, though fairly recent, is using their abundant population as a source of protein. You heard that right, turning nutria into steaks. Nutria populations need control, and turning them into food offers a way to use them while providing a local protein source. Plus, they require less land and resources than cows or pigs. But what does it taste like? Well, the taste has been described as a mild, slightly sweet rabbit with a texture like a duck. Sounds interesting, right? Proper handling is key. Bad handling makes for tough, strong-flavored meat. And like any meat, successful preparation hinges on cooking techniques and the use of complementary spices. The culinary landscape of nutria cuisine boasts a surprising variety of dishes. Pan-fried nutria, a simple yet classic method, allows the natural flavor to take center stage. Thinly sliced meat cooked in butter with salt and pepper delivers a crisp and enjoyable experience. Slow-cooked nutria tacos provide a unique and flavorful filling. Simmering the meat with spices and shredding, it creates a tender, flavorful base for tacos. Nutria stews offer a hearty and comforting option. Vegetables, herbs, and spices can be incorporated to complement the meat, creating a rich and satisfying dish. For those who enjoy sausage, nutria lends itself well to this format. Seasoned and stuffed into casings, nutria sausage can be grilled, pan-fried, or even incorporated into other dishes. Finally, nutria jerky provides a convenient and protein-rich snack. Thin strips of nutria meat are dried and seasoned, creating a delicious and portable on-the-go protein source. Despite the potential benefits, challenges, and considerations remain. Safe consumption necessitates proper handling and preparation. Regulations governing the sale and consumption of nutria also vary by region. Thorough research into local laws and obtaining meat from reputable sources are crucial. The future of nutria on our plates is uncertain. Animal welfare concerns and the potential impact on native predators are significant factors to consider. Overcoming the psychological barrier associated with consuming an invasive species also presents a hurdle. However, responsible harvesting techniques, innovative preparation methods, and the growing interest in sustainable food sources could potentially lead to a more prominent role for nutria cuisine in the future. Collaborative efforts. While the challenges posed by nutria are significant, Europe is not facing this problem alone. Collaborative efforts involving a diverse range of stakeholders are emerging as a powerful tool for managing nutria populations and mitigating their impact. Let's explore the benefits and approaches of collaborative nutria management. Managing invasive species like nutria requires a multifaceted approach. Collaborative efforts bring together various stakeholders with unique skills and resources. These stakeholders can include various authorities. Water management authorities are essential for habitat modification, ensuring wetland health isn't compromised. Invasive species experts from government agencies bring the knowledge of effective control methods to the table. Research institutions play a crucial role by developing new control technologies, understanding the ecological impact of nutria, and even exploring natural predators as a potential solution. In areas with legal hunting and trained participants, Hunting associations can be valuable partners in population control. Finally, public awareness campaigns, led by NGOs and environmental educators, are key to preventing the spread of nutria and encouraging responsible behavior. By working together, these stakeholders can combine their expertise and resources to develop a more effective strategy than any single group could achieve on its own. This collaborative effort not only improves efficiency, but also fosters a sense of shared responsibility for managing nutria populations and protecting our environment. Several successful examples of collaborative nutria management exist in Europe. The Life Mika project is a prime example. This project, a collaboration between German, Dutch, and Belgian institutions, is developing new methods for controlling Coypu, nutria, and muskrat populations, including utilizing camera traps, eDNA analysis, and smart life traps. Another example comes from Maryland, USA. Decades-long collaboration among various stakeholders, including government agencies, conservation groups, and private landowners, successfully eradicated nutria populations in the state, showing the long-term benefits of coordinated efforts. Taming Europe's nutria problem takes teamwork. By bringing together diverse stakeholders, a more comprehensive strategy can be developed. Water management authorities can ensure that habitat modification efforts don't compromise wetland health. Invasive species experts from government agencies contribute their knowledge of proven control methods. Research institutions play a vital role by developing new technologies, assessing the ecological impact of nutria, and exploring the potential of natural predators for biocontrol. In areas with legal hunting and trained participants, hunting associations can be valuable partners in population control. Finally, public awareness campaigns led by NGOs and environmental educators are key to preventing the spread of nutria and encouraging responsible behavior. This collaborative effort makes all parties involved share a sense of responsibility and allows for the sharing of best practices across different regions, ultimately leading to more effective nutria management. Education and awareness. Educating the public is the foundation of a successful nutria awareness campaign. When people understand the harm these rodents cause, they're more likely to take action. Educational initiatives should highlight how nutria wreak havoc on wetlands by overgrazing plants, which throws off the entire ecosystem's balance. Just a quick recap. Their burrowing habits can weaken dams and levees, increasing the risk of floods and infrastructure failure. Farmers suffer as nutria chomping through crops can lead to significant losses. And the potential spread of diseases from nutria to humans, pets, and livestock. By understanding these threats, everyone can play a part in managing nutria populations and protecting our environment. Educating the public goes beyond just raising awareness of the threats nutria pose. Empowering individuals to take action is key. Public awareness campaigns can discourage people from keeping nutria as pets, preventing accidental introductions.
We've hand-raised them and wanted to use them for program, but once they get a little older, they just become hard to handle, they want to bite, and they're just more wild.
Educating people on proper waste disposal reduces the easy meals nutria can find in our yards. Most importantly, knowing how and where to report nutria sightings allows for early detection and quicker control efforts. Public support is also crucial for nutria management programs, and awareness campaigns can help garner that support. Finally, education goes hand in hand with legal responsibility. By understanding local laws and regulations regarding nutria handling and control methods, people can avoid actions that might unintentionally help the spread of these invasive rodents. This includes things like knowing if transporting or releasing live nutria is legal in their area. In short, a well-rounded education campaign empowers the public to be active participants in nutria management. Effective nutria awareness campaigns go beyond just teaching people about the problems these rodents cause. The goal is to turn knowledge into action. Public involvement is key. This could involve volunteering in habitat restoration projects that make wetlands less hospitable to nutria, or participating in citizen science initiatives that track nutria populations. Engaging schools is another great strategy. By incorporating nutria awareness into the curriculum, we can educate future generations and instill a sense of environmental responsibility in them from a young age. Finally, a successful campaign uses a variety of communication channels. Social media, educational brochures, and community events can all be used to reach a broad audience and get everyone involved in managing the nutria challenge. Conclusion. Overall, the impact of nutria on European farmlands is undeniable. These destructive rodents pose a significant threat to infrastructure, crops, and public health. Proactive management strategies are necessary to mitigate the negative effects of nutria and protect the agricultural sector and the environment. By implementing effective control measures, farmers can minimize the impact of nutria and safeguard their valuable farmlands. So what do you think? Will you help the cause and fancy yourself a rodent steak? Or do you have a better way to solve the problem? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to check out other content on our channel. Until next time.